Good Sunday afternoon, YouTube. This is Tire Metalhead Weatherman. Hopefully, you guys are doing well. You've had a good weekend so far. Hopefully, you're enjoying the rest of the week, the weekend. Got a little bit. I figured there's not too much to talk about, but I figured I'd try to get you a leg up on the week. So we're gonna do the weekend forecast here. Well, not weekend forecast. We're gonna do a week ahead kind of forecast. Doing a little something different. Trying to find a way to do some fresh things, kind of experiment with the channel more. We're gonna first look, of course, at the Storm Prediction Center, and we already know about this area. This is basically for any potential long track supercells. Keep in mind, though, when I say supercells this time, we're not really looking towards the tornadic type. We're looking more towards the damaging wind and hail type. Can't rule out a tornado, but it's a relatively benign threat. The area hasn't, nothing's really changed with this area. We're mainly focused on parts of North Dakota and parts of eastern Montana, and you get a tiny little sliver of northern Wyoming in there as well. We'll just throw that in. So we'll look at tomorrow's threat and we'll look at the marginal risk and then days 4 through 8. Not really much going on there, but our threat for tomorrow is a little bit more substantial. But again, the main threats will be damaging wind and hail. The 5% is the around 5% region is our marginal risk, and the 15% is our slight. And of course, we have the hail threat's a little bit different, a little bit more compact versus the wind threat. We're looking a little more widespread there, but in Minot, Bismarck, and then South Dakota, we have Pierre, even going all the way as far south as Valentine, Nebraska, and even in towards parts of central Nebraska. We'll have to keep an eye out for some particularly larger hail and damaging winds above 60 miles per hour. It's worked its way back towards eastern Montana. You guys just can't seem to get away from it. And you even have a tiny little corner of Wyoming involved as well. Look at the tornado threat. Once again, pretty benign. We're kind of in that time of year now where the tornado threat becomes a little bit more minimal and the damaging wind and hail threats are a lot higher. Let's go to day 3. Very small marginal risk area, mainly towards the Missouri and Missouri Valley. We have Des Moines in play though, and Kansas City as well. Some parts of northeastern Kansas and southwestern Wisconsin, you guys are in play. Hopefully, a lot of you down here in southwest Wisconsin or in southwestern Wisconsin are doing okay after the tornado event last week. These storms might hamper a little bit of that recovery effort. But beyond that, we look through days 4 through 8. There's no real area, but we're going to have to still watch them because the tag is predictability too low, not potential too low. So, no rest for the wicked, necessarily. Not yet, at least. We'll see what happens. I was also taking a quick look at the wind reports yesterday, the severe reports yesterday. The wind and hail reports are a lot lower than what they were on the 17th. In fact, we've had more reports trickle in on the 17th yesterday than we have than what we had before. We were looking at 744. We're now up to 790. This is a massive windstorm. Just going to reiterate one more time before we move on to the next thing that damaging winds can be just as dangerous and potentially deadly, just like tornadoes. So take those warnings seriously when they have the tag of this storm has winds reported at 60 miles an hour or greater. It can still do the same kind of damage as a small tornado. Anyway, let's move on to what the weather could look like over the week. Doing things in a little bit different of an order here. We're going to be looking at the flash density model off the Euro here. We're going to be seeing which areas could be getting thunderstorms. This is all mainly based off of lightning density more than anything else. We'll take a look at the traditional reflectivity model, but this gives us an idea of where our thunderheads could be throughout the course of the week. So of course, as we had discussed, a lot of activity mainly towards the southwest near the Four Corners region. around the Midwest and even parts of Manitoba are getting some pretty hefty storms from the looks of it. Florida, of course, during this time of year, you guys are a thunderstorm hotbed. Makes complete sense. We go into tomorrow afternoon and into tomorrow evening. Once again, Midwest in play, Florida. We get a little bit of activity towards the Great Lakes region as well. And then on Tuesday, towards the evening hours and getting into the overnight, that's when our threat kind of shifts towards the Missouri Valley, towards Wisconsin, Great Lakes, and then once again we have more storms potentially welling up around Mexico, and will be working its way north into the Four Corners region once more. We'll have to watch the Northeast later into Wednesday afternoon. Expecting a lot of explosive thunderstorm development. Also, storms are possible in the Ohio Valley, a little bit more around the Missouri area as well. Maybe towards the southern plains, we'll have to watch for a little bit of development. I'm really leery of this area right here in Southern California because my hope is that these will not be dry thunderstorms, but usually during this time of year, that's what tends to happen here. So wildfire threat may be increasing for some of you guys. Going to Thursday afternoon, get some activity starting to pop up a little bit around the southeastern part of the states and towards the mid-Atlantic coast, and a lot of areas around the northern plains and heading into the Missouri Valley. You guys just can't seem to get away from it. Friday, we're shifting back towards the Great Lakes. Increased activity around Florida, starting to push its way a little bit further north, and of course, right around the Four Corners region, a lot of thunderstorm activity possible. Now Saturday, this is an interesting little look here. Right around Iowa and just north of Missouri, right in the northern plains, we have a very large area of lightning density here. So this could be a potential area of severe weather in the days to come. We will be watching this day pretty closely on the channel, and we will update you when we get more details on it. And then towards Saturday night into Sunday, the southeast really picks up in storm coverage. This time, looks like my whole state's covered in storms, as well as Florida. And then we have a little bit of activity towards the Missouri Valley in the evening. I'm thinking most likely this will be more of a popcorn type setup, more just pop-up storms. But business does seem like it's starting to pick up around the southeast towards the end of this month. Now we're getting close to that 10-day period. So now Monday and into Tuesday of next week looks pretty busy as far as storms are concerned. I'm starting to wonder about a flood threat. This is pretty far out though, so I can't really nail that down for anyone at this time. So it looks like there's still going to be plenty of storms to talk about here. Let's get a look at what the low-level jet's doing. See if this happens over any particular area that might have thunderstorm development. Because this is what we might look for any sort of severe weather development. I do think that the threat becomes a little bit more minimal over time. Especially going to be watching that setup on Saturday of next week. Low-level jet, of course, as I was expecting, not too much impressive. Looks more impressive over Canada, to be honest. Do get a small little area where winds kind of maximize around Minnesota, but I think by that point our storm system has already moved off. All the disturbed weather is out. Then we look towards Thursday. Pretty much the same deal. Relatively quiet. But Saturday looks a little bit more interesting. There's a little small area that pops up around here. Right around the time when we saw that increased lightning flash density. This could be an area where we might have damaging winds. Can't rule out a spin up, but this is so far out that it's hard to really go with that in good conscience right now. All I can really say at this point is that we'll keep an eye on it. So we go to look towards the next week. Things kind of get a little bit calmer, especially with a low-level jet, and towards next week Might have to watch the central plains once more, depending on the position of the storm system. But I'm not expecting anything major at this time, other than maybe Saturday, again, like I've been saying before. Alright, so last thing we're going to look at here is we are going to be looking at the reflectivity model, which is what everybody's pretty familiar with. So we get a little bit of activity over here in the northern plains, and we'll be watching that real close tomorrow, heading into the overnight hours. I do expect a few little line segments to pop up and maybe a couple severe storms. Nothing too crazy. And then Tuesday, get a little bit of a stormy setup, but it doesn't really materialize into anything major. Get plenty of disturbed weather around the northeast on Wednesday. Going into Thursday, it'll be clearing out, and then Friday we'll be looking at this little low pressure that's hanging off the southeastern coast here, trying to draw in some moisture. Hang on a minute. See an interesting little feature there. A lot of increased weather around the Atlantic region, around this part of the Atlantic, so this could be a sign that the tropics open up. So far there hasn't been any sort of tropical activity expected within the next 120 hours, so not really going to go into that in today's video. I might make a video tomorrow because I've been hearing some rumblings about maybe a potential storm popping up in a couple of weeks. So maybe I'll do that in tomorrow's video. I'm trying to keep these videos a little bit shorter. I know you guys don't want to be on here for 30 minutes. Really, not even 10 minutes. But I appreciate you if you are even watching for 2 minutes. Take what I can get from you. Anyway, I'm trying to get a hammer on this storm system for Saturday. It looks like it pops up around late afternoon hours on Saturday for right now. We'll have to take a closer look at things. We'll have to look at things as we get close to that day. We also see more unsettled weather around the southeast. We get more rain around the northeast about a week out from now. This quickly moves through, and then on the tail end of that, it just starts, apparently from the looks of it, pulling in more Gulf moisture. Maybe even a little storm system pops up here. Hard to say right now, but this does kind of cause more unsettled weather for the southeast in the days to come. So pattern looks like it's quieting down, which is a good thing. I'm pretty sure a lot of us need a break. Some of you guys, especially towards the northern plains, may still be in line for some severe storms, although I don't think the coverage or intensity will be quite as high. You can only take that with a grain of salt. And then the last thing we're going to be looking at here is the temperatures. If I can get it to work. There we go. Well, I guess if I could get it to work would be still accurate, but alright, we're here now. So this is what our temperatures are looking like right about now. Hot for better part of the country, and it's even working its way into almost central Canada too, which is unbelievable. Got 80s and 90s, even working their way towards maybe even Manitoba. I don't even know. It's just crazy to think about. Even when we get towards the overnight hours, a lot of areas are still going to be in the 80s, which is unbelievable. But towards the northwest, there's a little bit of a cool down that's begun to occur, and this does give a little bit of hope for some of us, because usually whatever starts out in the west ends up working its way to the east. Normally. Can't say it'll happen, but maybe there's a shot. I'm hoping too, to be honest, because remember, I work outside, so yeah. So Monday and Tuesday, still hot for the eastern half of the country, and then the western half's getting cold, getting hot again. So I guess that that little area where we were getting some cold air funneled in has been kicked back to the north, and unfortunately, oh wow, unfortunately, everybody's about to start feeling the heat. And even on Thursday here, look at a lot of areas in the deep south here. We're getting towards the triple digits for a lot of people, my area included, which is really gonna suck working in that. So, oh wow, we even see 110 in the in Arizona. Wow, Arizona and parts of Southern California. Really worried about that dry thunderstorm threat because that could result in some really nasty wildfires developing. So we're still on a major heat wave going into next week. And then the week after that does not look like it's going anywhere anytime soon from the looks of it. I'm almost kind of rooting for like a tropical depression to come in at some point and just kind of kick this ridge out, because really that's what's going to take for this heat wave to stop right now. This is all I got for you guys today. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, drop a like, leave a comment, share, spread the word about the channel. Also, if you I know there's plenty of terms that I use on here from time to time that probably have people confused. If you want me to start doing a playlist of videos where I kind of go into the details and all the nitty gritty about the more advanced terms, if I get any video on my channel up to 10 likes, I said I would do it a while back. Still holding true to that. No one's gotten there. See if we can push some more of these up there. But again, that's all I got. It's been Tire Metalhead Weatherman. I will see you in tomorrow's video. Good. Have a good day.